Okay, for this assignment, we're going to be using a digital multimeter set to the ohm reading. So everyone's going to have to submit an answer sheet on, so you could write the ohm symbol at the top, put your name here.
Can't see it. Oh.
Okay, and you could put down ohms equals resistance. Okay. All right, and what we're gonna do is we have a resistor board. Okay, so there's a A1 through 5, and there's a B1 through 5. So we could go ahead and create our answer key: A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, and those are our distance learners. You're going to use this video to record your answers. B1, B2, B3, B4, B5, okay? And that's our resistor board. And then we have a wiring harness with 5 wires. So, okay, so we have a harness. So you're going to have one good wire in this harness. You're going to have one broken wire in this harness. You're going to have 2 wires that are connected, what we call a splice or a short. They're connected together. And then there's going to be a wire with a resistor in there. So a total of 5 wires. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to use an ohm meter to figure out which color wires are which one of these, and then we're going to label the wires with what we find. So let's go ahead and get started. So I turned my meter to ohms. We do have a really cool little clip you could put onto the lead here. Okay, so we already have that attached for the students that are going to be doing this at the school. So let me go ahead and put that back in. There you go. And for those who are at school, we're not going to have them take them on and off. They do, whenever you get a new voltmeter, they come with these little protectors because these are very sharp. So we're going to take that off. And then whenever you use an ohm meter, the leads go as follows. You put the black lead in COM, and you put the red lead in ohms on the right side. Okay? And most ohm meters, you should zero out your ohm meter by connecting the 2 leads together and verify that you have less than 1 ohm resistance, okay? So you just hook these together. So that's a very low resistance. And then you would have an M, which stands for mega, and you also have OL. This is a little bit different than most, but it really stands for out of limit. There's no connection. So when you see this, there's no connection. And then when you hook it up, there's a connection, okay? And you notice there's a K and then there's an M. So we need to note that down on our answer key, okay? It's for ohm meters. There's a M and there's a K. Capital letters, by the way, not lowercase. The M stands for mega, and it means you multiply whatever the answer is by 1 million. And K stands for kilo, or it means you multiply it by 1,000. Okay? So let's go ahead and get started. So let's do the resistor board, because the resistor board is going to be a lot easier, faster to do. I was just practicing and I'm not happy with my wires all twisted together. So let's untwist these. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with one and we're going to record our answers. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and clip this onto one side of this resistor, and then I'm going to, and it requires tip pressure, so you got to put a little bit of pressure. So we're going to go ahead and push with our tip pressure on the other side of the resistor, and you'll see it's 0.484, and you just take an average of this. The hold button's going to take a lot of practice. It's not as simple as the other ones because it's a more advanced meter. But you multiply this by 1,000,000. So that means you move it over 3 places. 1, 2, 3. And another 3 places. 1, 2, 3. So it looks like it's 486,000 is what I'm going to do. 486,000 ohms. And it's bouncing around. And you got to have the ohm symbol. Okay? So again, the K means 1,000. The M means you move the decimal place over 1,000,000 or 6 times. Let's go to the next one. It takes a little practice, but you'll get it. All right, now I see a K. Well, the K went away. So this is 98.5. It's straight ohms. 98.5.
Okay.
So we're on the A3. A3. I'm going to put my lead here. And I see a K now. So we got to move it 3 places. 1, 2, 3. 987.4 ohms. Again, K means 3 places. 1, 2, 3. 987.3. And I forgot to put the ohms. So now, for those who are at distance learners, I'm going to do A4, A5, B1 through 5, and you write your own answers down. So here we go. There is no M and there's no K. So write that answer down for A4. This is A4. Move on to the next. This is A5. I see a K here. So K means multiply this by 1,000. And write that down as a regular ohm. Multiply that number by 1,000. Or move the decimal 3 places to the right. All right, let's switch to B now. So B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm not going to give you the hints to write down your answer. You're going to have to know what K and M mean and what you need to do. Here we go, B1. Let's move on to B2. Let's move on to B3. I have to hold the board though. Let's move on to B4. And let's move on to B5. Okay, so you're going to record your answers on this answer key, and then when we're done with the wiring loom, then you take a picture of this and you send this for your assignment. So now we're on to the wiring loom. We completed our resistor boards, okay? So let's set that aside. Now let's go ahead and do our wiring board. So, okay, so now this is really important. We understand continuity, okay? Continuity means that there's a connection. So you're not worried about resistance here. You're worried about whether there's a connection. In other words, there's very low resistance. There's 1 ohm or less than 1 ohm. So there's a connection. Then when you take your wire off, there's no connection. There is one wire that is going to have a resistor in it. So there is one wire that will have resistance. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually clip this on to one wire. And then we're going to use this lead here to touch. First, I'm going to see if there's a connection with the pink black wire with the pink black wire. And look at that. I don't see any connection. So the pink black wire is probably the broken wire. Then I'm going to go and check to see if it's shorted to any other wire. And it is not shorted. So I'm going to write down for the broken wire a pink, and you use an abbreviation for the colors. This is how it would be labeled in your wiring diagrams that you would look at. So now let's move on to the next one. Let's do, it looks like just an orange wire. So I'm going to clip this onto the orange wire, getting a good connection. And first I'm going to do is I'm going to check my orange lead. All right, I'm under an ohm here. And by the way, tip pressure is really important with ohm meters. So I'm under ohm. So that wire is connected. Now we want to verify, and so it's connected, and it doesn't have resistance. So we know it's not a resistor. Now we want to see if it's shorted. So now I'm going to go and touch the yellow wire. So it's not connected to the yellow wire. Then I'm going to check the brown wire. Not connected to that. Then there's a yellow-white wire. And then we're going to just verify that it's not connected to pink. So we know the orange wire is the good wire. Orange wire. All right, now let's go to the brown wire. Clip that on. And then I'm going to go first to the brown wire. All right, I have a connection. Let's make sure I get a better connection. Yeah, I'm down under, well, this could be the one with the resistance, but we'll see. So 3 ohms, I see 3 ohms. Let's see if it's either the shorted one or the resistance one. If it's the resistance one, then it's 3 ohms resistance. So let me go ahead and see if it's shorted. I want to touch the all yellow wire. Oh, look at that. I got a reading. So I'm going to put a little bit more pressure on there. Ah, it is connected to that wire. All right, let's see if it's connected to the orange wire. Nope. Let's see if it's connected to the yellow-white wire. Nope. And the pink-black? Nope. So brown wire is connected to yellow wire. So one of these is going to be brown, and one of these is going to be yellow. Would you put, a L or a W?
W.
Okay. So then the remaining wire that we have not tested is the yellow-white wire, which is going to be the one that with resistance. So now let's check the resistance. And it looks like 300, it's bouncing a lot. You just take an average of that. Yeah, see, I see the M, and we're actually pushing about 10 million. Definitely in the millions. So though, I'm going to just put that this is the yellow-white wire. So yellow-white wire. And it's going to be about 10 million ohms. And that's our answer key. So those are distance learners. You were responsible for these answers, and we did the wiring loom together. And now take a picture of this and submit this.